Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're talking about something huge, how businesses make those massive billion-dollar decisions. You know, the kind of bets that can make or break a company. Okay, so here's the deal, right? Every single business on the planet has this one big problem. They've got a limited amount of cash. So how in the world do they decide where to put that money to get the biggest bang for their buck?
To really get our heads around this, let's just jump right into a classic scenario. It's a real high-stakes choice between two projects that both look pretty good on paper.
All right, put yourself in the CEO's chair. You've got 700 grand to invest and two proposals on your desk. Project A is, let's call it the marathon. It's a slow burn, but man, the payoff way down the line looks huge. Then you've got Project B, the sprint. This one's all about getting your money back like yesterday. So, what's the play? Which one do you pick? You know, when you're faced with a choice like that, the temptation is to find a quick, easy answer, a simple rule of thumb. And that brings us to the first and probably the most common way people try to solve this. It's called the payback period. And you can see why it's so popular, right? It asks a really simple, really appealing question. How fast do I get my initial cash back? That's it. The quicker you get it back, the better the project seems. Okay, so let's crunch the numbers here. We start in the hole, right? Negative 700K. Then each year we add the cash that comes in. If you follow along, you'll see Project A takes what, 3.25 years to climb back to zero? But Project B, wow, it gets there in just 2 years. So if you're just looking at the payback period, this is a total no-brainer. Project B wins hands down. It's faster, feels safer, you get your money back quick. But, and this is a big but, is the easy answer actually the right answer? And this is where it gets super interesting, because hiding behind that beautiful simplicity is a huge critical flaw, a flaw that can actually lead you to make some really, really bad decisions. See, the whole method is obsessed with one thing, getting back to zero, but it completely ignores the most important question. What about all the money the project makes after you've been paid back? The payback period just pretends it doesn't exist. And this table just shows it perfectly. Look at Project A. In years 4 and 5, it's an absolute cash machine. We're talking 900 grand. But because that happens after it hit its payback goal, this method is totally blind to it. It literally doesn't see the best part of the whole project. Yeah, the source material really nails it. The method's biggest weakness is that it ignores when money comes in and how much money comes in total. And that pushes us toward a much, much smarter idea that the best financial minds use. And that idea, well, it's probably the single most important concept in all of finance. It's called the time value of money. Pretty much every smart financial decision is built on this one principle. Let me ask you something. Is $100 in your pocket right now worth the same as me promising you $100 a year from now? Of course not. No way. Why? Because you can take that cash today, invest it, and start making more money with it, like right away. So that's the problem, right? How do you compare money from today with money from the future? Well, there's a financial trick for that. We need to translate that future money into what it's worth today. And the technique we use is called discounting. The process is actually pretty simple. You guess your future cash flows. You pick something called a discount rate. Think of it like an interest rate, but backwards. Then you just use a formula to figure out its present value. I love this analogy. It's like looking at future money through a telescope. The farther away it is, the smaller it looks to you today. Okay, so now that we have this powerful idea of discounting, let's go back to our two projects. Let's use a smarter method and see if we come up with a different winner. This method is called net present value, or NPV for short. And here's how it works. You look at all the cash the project will ever make. You take each of those future payments, you discount them to see what they're worth today, you add them all up, and then you subtract what you paid to start the project. Simple. If the final number is positive, you're looking at a winner. All right, let's run the numbers one more time. We take all the cash flows from both projects and apply, let's say, a 10% discount rate. And look at the table, see how the present value of the cash gets smaller and smaller the further out we go? That's the time value of money in action. It's showing us what that future cash is really worth to us today. So first up, Project B, the one that looked so good with a simple method. After we do all the math, it has a positive net present value of about 130 grand. Hey, that's not bad at all. It's a solid, profitable project. But now, look at Project A, the one the payback method said to throw in the trash. When we factor in those huge payoffs at the end, its net present value is over $365,000. That's more than double Project B. And there it is. That's the whole point. By using a smarter method, one that actually respects that money today is worth more than money tomorrow, and looks at the entire life of the project, we've totally flipped the decision on its head. Now we can see which investment is truly better in the long run. So, what's the bottom line here? First, simple isn't always better. A method like payback can seriously point you in the wrong direction because it's blind to long-term profit. Second, the time value of money is everything. It's not just some abstract theory. And that means third, using a tool like NPV gives you a way more complete picture of what an investment is actually worth. And this leaves us with a final, bigger thought. This whole idea of discounting the future, it's not just about money, is it? We do it all the time in our lives, with our careers, our health, everything. So it makes you wonder, if we're all sort of hardwired to focus on the short-term win, what amazing long-term opportunities are we just letting slip through our fingers every single day?